Good morning. And for those of you who are online, good morning, good afternoon, good evening.
Good morning.
Just so exciting to see all of you in person today. Over the last 2 years, it has been just a blur, right? For me, this is the first gathering of all of you. And last night, seeing the excitement, connecting with all of you one-to-one, was just so energizing. And welcome to Napa. Hope you all got a chance to taste some good wine. And if you're not getting a good wine, tell Kamal.
Yep.
He'll make it happen. But really, a few years back when we started the company with the mission of enabling the right career for everyone in the world, two of us in a garage, thinking about how we can do it, right? Today, it all feels real. We will make it happen. And with the support of all of you. And so over the next half an hour, I'm going to talk about talent, what we are doing, what's coming next. Would love your feedback, your support as we make all that happen, right? And let's start by looking at the phenomenal talent in the room today. Representing, many of you have traveled from faraway places, from Israel, London, Germany, India, different parts of the country over here, to talk about talent, representing different ethnic groups. So what a diversity in this room. And before I begin, let me thank all the veterans and reservists who have also joined us today, who are keeping us safe, especially in these troubled times, in the times of uncertainty. But as you talk about career, as you talk about skills, talent, sometimes we say that, people will have multiple careers. We talk about Gen Z. You are no longer looking for a job, you're looking for a career. 90% of the people gathered in this room have had multiple careers. And not just that, on an average, a person had 4 careers. This is the new world we are living in. It's no longer that I start a job, I keep doing that for the rest of my life. We want a life of a purpose. And we are looking for purpose at work. And the skills that you all have, you're bringing to the table. I hope it all sounds very familiar. This is all from your profiles. And not surprising, if you look at, this group, this esteemed group, right? The top skills are management, consulting, talent acquisition. That's the space we are in. But what makes it super interesting is not this. This is the trend of the industry. Based on the global trend, these are the skills that are maximum in demand. We are no longer talking about just managing and leadership. How you as talent leaders are thinking about talent. How you are setting up the strategy for your organization. How you are making sure that for every role, we have the right team in place. These are most important skills and maximum in demand in the industry. And if I'm not seeing this for my skills, I will be scared, right? So this is exciting. And really, as a CEO, at least from my experiences, I can say with confidence, you are the agent of change. The only reason we survived COVID, we came out stronger post-COVID, is because of you all. Who would have thought that in 2 years, the way digital transformation has happened in the industry? Like, think about it, those teachers With a flip of a switch, they had to move from in-person classes to online classes. All these meetings moved to Zoom. No longer you can go walk to someone's desk, tap on their shoulder and say that, help me with something. And that required training. People moved locations. But you went on building the teams, supporting the teams. Last year has been about great resignation, right? So in all those cases, you came in and supported it, right? What has been my journey? Actually, I'm a machine learning person by training. I spent numerous years at Google and other startup that I did prior to Eightfold. And for most of my life, what I was doing was looking at people, what they browse, what they shop, what they search, patterns outside. This person has been buying these dress shirts again and again. So can I sell them more dress shirt? They really like this black color or the purple color. Let me sell them more dresses. Or you like to binge watch. So can we give you more videos? That is all I did for the last 15 years of my career. Look at the fashion trends outside. Which news article you will be excited to read? Whether it is about a cat jumping on the roof, a real example, to stock markets crashing, to everything in between. But the aha moment was, actually, really what I'm doing is building profiles, understanding people, their interest, and using that to predict what will be exciting for them next. How can I make them click on more ads, right? But instead of that, actually, can I look at their education? Can I look at their experiences? Can I look at what career choices they have made? What jobs they have taken? To better understand where they can go next in their career. What skills they can acquire next? What kind of companies they are likely to be successful in next? How they can keep on contributing and developing. Because if we solve that, if we provide people the right jobs, right skills, sometimes it's just connecting them to the right mentor can make all the difference. And enabling that, right? And with that, we have built, all of you are familiar with Talent Intelligence Platform, which was just a phrase a few years back. But 5 years later, now it's a category. And what all of us have realized is actually in today's time, being able to make sense of that out of that data is the most important thing. Do you know how much content Google owns? In the grand scheme of things, 0. They don't own any content. But they make that content accessible to everyone at the right time. Netflix, they don't own much content. But they make it accessible to you at the right time in the right way. So with data, how do you make sense out of it, right? And when we think of the talent data is there in HR systems. HRIS have my payroll and benefits data. My applicant tracking system have my candidate data. But the Salesforce CRM has my actual customer relationship data, which for a salesperson is their true resume. For software engineer, it's in GitHub, Bitbucket, Perforce, Jira, Asana, Teams, Slack, external databases, professional networks, job boards. Data is there, actually. But what you really need to be able to do is collect all this data, bring all this in one place. But by myself, my data is actually meaningless. If you think about it, right, how languages work, it's a contract between two people that same word, when I say Apple and you say Apple, we mean the same thing. But in talent space, when I was at Google, we would love to call it MapReduce. You are at Yahoo, you would call it Hadoop, even though we both meant the same thing, right? So I can't just look at my data and make sense out of it. I have to look at global data so that I can respect that contract. And that is where AI comes in. So bring all this data together, make sense out of it, but do it in a way so that you actually are removing the biases, making sense out of it, and then enabling all the workflows on top of it. And why that is important? Because the work is changing. Over the next 2 days, we'll talk a lot about skills. Everyone is talking about skills around the globe. But one thing I can almost guarantee, in 4 years from now, at least half of our skills will be outdated. Whatever we know today will be less valuable. So we can't just keep talking about skills. Equally important is to talk about roles, because the roles have gotten extremely complex. "15 years back, when I was starting my career, in my previous company, we were interviewing some salespeople. My impression was sales is really nothing else. That is the complexity of the role, right? I doubt our audio person ever imagined this will happen. That can happen. But that is how the roles have become complex, actually. We live in such an unpredictable environment. And if that was not enough, right? Great resignation. How many of you are struggling with that? Good. But that's the reality, right? And that reality is not going to change. That is the world we are living in. So what can we do in these times? When skills are evolving, roles are getting complex, I don't know who will be here or not here. Where do I hire people from? Really, upskilling is the only strategy you can have. If we start looking for people who know blockchain, if we start looking for people who know AI, we'll keep looking. And we'll keep compromising, actually. In fact, Facebook did a wonderful job a few years back. They needed to hire mobile engineers. And they just couldn't. And one of the reasons we say that it's very hard, I can't attract people, I can't pay them enough, too challenging for me. What I can tell you is that in my career, I was at IBM. Back in those days, it was a 350,000 employee company. We're like, we can't hire, we are too big, right? Okay, then I was at Google, a hot startup, just went public. We can't hire people enough. Why? Because we are already public, our stock is already listed, there's not much value in stock options. So then I started Bloomreach. We can't hire people enough, right? Because if you take Napa, there are barely 30,000 professionals in this wine country. Actually, the amount of people in the world is very small. And probably collectively, all of you today represent an employee base of more than 5 million people. And we are talking about 35,000 people in Napa County. So what do you need to do about upskilling? How do you think about upskilling? And the very first thing is understand the market. It's no longer about me. What else is happening in the market? Who are the leaders? Who are my competitors? What are they doing? What talent they have? What roles they have? What skills they have? What technologies they have? So at Eightfold, by analyzing the data from different places, right? This is what we are able to do, first thing. What skills are out there? What roles are out there? That actually needs to be combined with what are your needs. And this, I would say, is the most missed opportunity in general. See, we can't keep looking for purple unicorns. If we don't define the roles correctly, we don't make progress. Anyone who is from, have you ever wondered, right, why these hiring managers keep changing their requirements? Happens in our company, I don't know. Hopefully it doesn't happen with you all, right? Because what happens is that first you start talking to a candidate, you're like, I should have asked for that more, that skill. 2 weeks later, maybe I should just change it, right? And then what makes it even more complex? The hiring manager in a different location ends up doing something totally different. And you hire the third hiring manager. This manager leaves up because of a great resignation after 2 years. You have a new person, and he's like, now I really need to build a new team. So how do we bring understanding of each and every role in your company? Skills in your company. What is needed to stay ahead, right? And using that, understanding the market, understanding your skills, your talent requirements, being able to tap into your talent network. And I think this is somehow the way the market has evolved. We've always focused on renting the data. Let me go to LinkedIn, Indeed, Monster, Glassdoor, Career Builder, wherever, right, and get the people from there. But what is your core asset? You are Morgan Stanley of the world. You are Bayer of the world. You are Micron of the world. You are American Express of the world, right? Over the years, you have built that brand. Dexcom. People have flocked to you, right? For diabetes, you have a big brand name. You are a gaming company. There are millions of gamers out there. All these people are part of your network. Your alumni is part of your network. Every candidate who has ever reached out to you, every candidate who's currently reaching out to you, your current employees, your contractors, the freelancers that you have worked with, that's your entire talent network. Let's bring all that together. And then identify who I can upskill from this group. Can I get more leverage by just upskilling my current team, those 20 people who are reporting to me? Then 50 other people in a different team who I can upskill them, otherwise who might have left the company. Or there are these 5 silver medalists. Numerous times, I'm sure it has happened that you interviewed someone, you're like, this person is good enough, they only ate if they had one skill. But we never ask the question, what will it take to upskill that person? Am I better off looking outside, keep looking for someone else, or should I just spend 3 weeks training this person? But that is when it becomes more interesting, is once you've identified the people to upskill, how do you deliver personalized career plan for each person? Can you get a show of hands of how many people over the last 2 years or 5 years have done multiple online courses? Learning is becoming important. How many of you are learning on the job? And where is that getting tracked? Learnability of an individual is a function of who they are, what their skills are, what their past experiences are, their aptitude is, right? Someone may want to learn on a job and then learn through a gig. Someone may want to take a course and then take some projects. Someone may want to go talk to some mentors, jobs, courses. Everyone likes to choose their learning path. And that is what makes it most effective. But today, the blanket approach to learning is just give them some courses. So at Eightfold, the way we look at it, it's a continuous journey. You start by understanding the market, your needs, tapping into your network, identifying the people you can upscale, and then delivering to each one of those a personalized career path. And this is not a one-time thing. Because as I said earlier, whatever we know today will be outdated soon. I need to keep upskilling myself. We need to keep upskilling our teams. Because that's the only strategy out there. And actually, I just walk you through some examples how these 4 organizations are using Eightfold in very different ways to solve a problem. Actually, Mike will talk a lot about, from EY, will talk a lot about what EY is doing, Ernst & Young, around upskilling, how they have set up a Skills Foundry Institute, and working with Fortune 100 companies to upskill them, to make sure they have the right talent. 110, their mission is to enable family-sustaining jobs for 1 million Black Americans, right? Without 4-year college degree. Whatever I studied in college 20 years back, so I'm an electrical engineer by training, power transmission, motors. I'm not using any of that. But we still keep asking for 4-year college degrees. Heidrick struggles, top executive search firm in the world, enabling C-suite for most of the organizations. Probably many of you are working with them. But how do we enable succession planning at scale in these organizations? Because as roles are getting complex, skills are getting complex, right? I can't just look at 2 people, 4 people. Back in the days, 10, 20% growth was phenomenal. Today, you're just growing at 50%, you're just growing at 80%. What's wrong with you? There's this other company who's growing at 200%, 300%, right? You have only one product? Well, they have a whole platform, right? Everything is constantly changing. So how do you enable the C-suite? And Department of Defense, what they are doing with Eightfold is building a gig marketplace for all the reservists. There are 1.3 million reservists in the country. Bill was telling his story that when 9/11 happened, he was the first person among the first few people.
Not among the first, but within 3 days was activated, yes.
Within 3 days was activated, was there helping all of us, serving the community. But Department of Defense has no idea what he does in his day-to-day job. And that innovation no longer is limited to just the armed forces. All you are innovating in your organization, and if we can bring all those skills together, bring that transparency, we can make wonders happen. And all of you, and a lot more, using us in different ways. Eightfold technology combined with your intelligence, your use cases, your innovation, making wonders happen. And one of the things you see, notice over here is, it's not limited to one technology sector, one vertical, one industry, one geographic location. In fact, Today, people are using us in 24 plus languages across 110 countries. And that is critical to have unbiased learnings at scale, deep understanding of every role, every function, every skill. But before I end, one company which has shown how innovation works, which has shown someone can come out of nowhere almost and make wonders happen, and most importantly, who has enabled us to gather here today is Moderna. Had it not been for them, we won't be able to gather here, fly with confidence, send our kids to school, continue with our livelihood. Next 2 days, I'm looking forward to upskilling myself, learning a lot about various things, from compliance to AI to audit to how we build an adaptive workforce, how do we provide a great candidate experience, how do we build skill-based organizations, and so on. But while we do all this, we are in wine country. Make sure you take some time to relax, enjoy. It's a nice weather. Last night it was so exciting to see all of you gather together. It was just fun. So thank you all. Looking forward to spending more time with all of you.